Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where I just started up the game and we are actually sitting on the surface instead of perched precariously. Well, I guess this... Well, no, hang on. We are still perched precariously. Never mind, it just looked like we were sitting on the surface. It's fine. It doesn't actually matter. We'll just hold this position here and we'll have Bob go do some stuff. So we need to grab all of our science that we can here, our seismic scan, our gravity scan, and we'll collect all of that data. There we go. We could grab another seismic and gravity scan. I don't think a gravity scan makes sense here because we're going to be potentially getting more gravity scans on the way in. We could store that here though. So let's grab our seismic scan and our gravity scan. We're not going to get more seismic scans, I don't think. Probably not. Maybe on Kerbal, but that's a bit of a long shot. We'll have Bob EVA here. We'll grab our EVA report, we'll grab our surface sample, and we're going to climb on down because we need to do some resets. So we're going to restore the Science Junior, and we're going to restore the Mystery Goo containment unit. We also need to grab our data from the negative gravioli detector. And now we should grab our Mystery Goo observation and our materials study. There we go. Back over to Bob. I guess we need to conduct that still. But we'll collect this data and restore the Mystery Goo containment unit. We'll collect the data from the Science Junior and restore that as well. Cool. And then Bob can climb up and in to store his stuff here. We'll need to let go here, and it would be very, very easy to get Bob into orbit here. We probably don't want to do that. I mean, over Gilly, we might be able to physically jump into orbit. It's so little. So we're going to store everything here. Perfect. And now we grab another Mystery Goo observation and another material study. And we'll just store that where they're at. Fantastic. Okay. So now we are going to have Bob EVA again. We're going to grab a surface sample. And that surface sample, well, first off, we should collect up here. There we go. Now we should be able to store the surface sample in the re-entry module, and indeed we can. So that's perfect. We'll close the door on the Science Junior, and now Bill is going to EVA. He's going to climb down, and we're going to need to store his parachute and his EVA pack somewhere. So we're going to store his parachute here, and then the EVA pack is going to be swapped for the probably experiment control. That's the experiment control, right? Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. If we were to jump and try to get back in that way, awkwardness would likely ensue. So we're just going to hop down here. Wow, look at this gravity. Cool. We're going to have to pass parts the way we did previously. Okay. So Bob lands here. He landed that basically perfectly, but he decided to ragdoll anyway. He's just not responding. Bill is just being dumb here. So we're just going to have him get on up. We definitely don't want him to jump. That's for sure. Okay, so now we're going to need Bob to hop out. Valentina actually can't right now because she's holding the attitude here. We can maybe try to get her to hop out later, but for the moment, Bob needs to hop out. And Bob is going to come on down here, wants to store his EVA pack and grab the solar panel. Okay. So, we're hoping that Bob falls gently onto here. And it looks like he's going to. Perfect. So just chill here. And we can reach Bill from here. So that's ideal. Please don't fall off, Bob. Also, don't go flying. Cool. So we're going to have Bill head on over. The last thing we want him to do here is jump. We don't want him to do the kind of leap animation that Kerbals have a tendency to do. So we're just going to kind of feather our way out here, because we're going to get a lot of distance if he jumps. So we're not going to go very far. We're going to set up shop about here. Cool. There we go. Cannot deploy part as it is not on the surface of a planet. Well, it'll get there. Is it working? I think it's working. Okay, so we're going to head our way back here. Very gently. I wish there was a way to disable that leap animation, but alas, as far as I know, there is not. So we're just going to come on over here until we are in range of Bob. There we go. And we will grab that. Cool. And of course, these guys will have to swap positions eventually, but we just have to be very careful. The gravity is so tenuous here. It'll be very, very easy to massively overshoot. Like, if we hit that jump animation, I expect we would land, like, over here, to be honest. Maybe even further. Okay. So there we go. Cannot deploy part, as it is not on the surface of a planet. It'll get there. Gravity is extremely low. So we can see it slowly dropping here. Cool. So it's currently disabled. And we need to come on back over this direction. Honestly, we might be better off if we weren't reliant on SAS to hold us here. We might be better off to have Valentina come down and have this be like an assembly line chain rather than moving. That would be exciting, but that's not what we're going to do for right now. Okay, so we should be close enough. We'll swap over to Bob here. And we're going to grab another solar panel. There we go. I would love it if we could put a second solar panel in there. Sadly, we just can't do that. So we will head over to Bill. And Bill's going to head on over. Fantastic. The science outpost will eventually generate quite a lot of science for us. We've walked on the surface of Gilly, yes, and I believe that those parts will be set up correctly. Power state is currently disabled. Maybe if we disable and enable it? Or maybe we have to pick it up and put it back down? I don't know. We're definitely not producing power right now. So we place the part here. Cannot deploy part as it is not on the surface of a planet. The gravity is so low. Apparently we can't disable it and enable it. That's interesting. It just takes so long to fall is the problem, I think. Like, if we look at this still hasn't fallen all the way. Of course, I think it might not go much further than this. Yeah, that's interesting. We might need to find, like, flatter terrain? I wonder... Okay, well, this is awkward. Very awkward indeed. Ooh. Well, so much for one of our power materials there. Yikes. I didn't think that would actually destroy it. At least it didn't take out the leg. And we, I believe, have too much power, if we can get our power actually online here. Well, let's place this part. And let's just head back here. Now, Bill is a level 2 engineer. So I believe that we'll still have sufficient power if we can get these to turn on. I wonder if we can do that if we go back to the Space Center and reload the scene after it's settled. We'll try that in a bit here. I want to double check here. So a level 2 Kerbal, this will produce 3 power each. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 producing 9 total power. That should still be enough. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll have Bill come on over. Cool. And we'll drop this over here. Very, very exciting stuff, this. But the gravity is so low that we have to be careful. We saw what happens if we're not. So that part is probably not going to deploy. Yep. But we might be able to redeploy it if we reload the scene after it's been placed. I'm not sure how that all works. But we'll need to let that settle in, for sure. Okay, so let's pass ourselves another part here. That will be, of course, this one. So that'll be our final power generation part. And over we head. Cool. Hopefully we can get these parts to properly deploy. And I just want this to be over on the far side here. That should do. And let's get out of here. Yeah, cannot deploy part, but we're just letting them settle into position for right now. So that should be fine. And then we're going to deploy the comm system, and then we'll have to swap these two. So of course we'll need to use EVA pack for that. And that'll be fine. No big deal there. We'll just pass it down. We close enough? We are indeed close enough. Okay, so we are going to bring in, at this point, the Communitron. These should all be deployed by our scientist. So the Communitron goes over, and Bill will deploy that. Well, he'll try to deploy it. We'll see if it actually deploys. I'm not even convinced that the Protodobodyne Experiment Control Station is currently deployed. But reloading the scene may cause them to deploy. We'll see. Fingers crossed on that one. Another thing we could theoretically do is temporarily hack the gravity via the cheat menu to massively increase the gravity here. Temporarily, before, and then get rid of it before we lift off. That's another potential option, just to get this to properly work. So we can see about doing that. For the time being, we are, of course, going to need to get the EVA pack now. So let's grab the EVA pack. This is Valentina. Oh, hang on. Back to Valentina. Okay, that's awkward. Bob Kerman, grab the EVA pack and hand it down. Are we not close enough? We may not be close enough. Yeah, I guess not quite. Okay, so Bill, get a little bit closer here. We should be close enough now. Bob, hand down the EVA pack. There we go. And then Bill, RCS on, and up we go. Cool. We are, of course, going to need to manually control a lot of that. But there we go. The RCS pack can now go back in here. We switch over to Bob again. And Bob will... Uh-oh. Bob is going to land, I think, over here? No, I don't actually know where Bob is going to land. We have more velocity than I thought, but it looks okay. I wanted him to just kind of fall, but this seems like it'll be fine. Cool. We're going to have to head back here. So, yeah, that's the big leap right there. This is the animation that we don't want. I think we're going to impact the tank here, so it's okay in this case. But I just wanted to indicate that that's the animation that we don't want. While that falls, let's go ahead and grab our surface deployed mystery goo. There we go. And Bob is... Oh, past him. Bob is going to head back over here. Cool. So I do think that we may have to hack gravity to get this properly deployed. It does look like the Communitron actually may have deployed... I don't know that that did deploy, actually. I don't think it did. Once we get these positioned, we can try to hack that gravity. Yeah, cannot deploy part. Okay, let's actually try this right now. I'm going to make a quick save just in case something goes horrifically wrong. And then we go into the cheats and we hack gravity here. And we make this be, instead of being 1.0, we make this be like, I don't know, 10.0. 10 times more. Then we pick up this part and we redeploy it just to get these to actually function. And we can do the same for Bob for the Protodobodyne. Let's go ahead and plant that here. It falls down nicely. And now it deploys. Okay, so we're going to pick up the Protodobodyne. Oh, we can't actually do that? I guess because we have the... Okay. I guess that's because we have the parachute. So we'll pick up the Communitron. And actually, with gravity hacked, we should be completely fine to do this animation now. So this will kind of speed things up a little bit, I suppose. Sure. And then we'll just have to remember to reset that before we leave, right? More gravity is not cheating, as far as I'm concerned, especially when we're not flying. So we're going to have Bill hand this on down. The ionographer is going to be next, but that will definitely accelerate things for us and make this a lot faster. Even with 10x gravity, look at that. That animation takes us almost all the way here. Hilarious. So let's go ahead and drop the seismic accelerometer. Not like we're expecting to get anything out of that. We'll pick up the experiment control station, and we'll re-drop that off. We're going to have to swap these and get Bill to redeploy this, because we do need that to be done by an engineer. Ooh, hello. He did the jump animation very quickly there. This is not where we want this. So back we go. It's uphill, so this will be shorter. And we'll just park about here. Cool. That'll be fine. And now we're going to need to go grab the ionographer. And then we'll swap these and get Bill to go reset those. Cool. So we're going to need to grab the ionographer here. And that gets handed directly on down. Toggling between all of those awkwardly. And Bob is going to jump on over and look to deploy the ionographer over here eventually. That's actually basically a perfect jump. Okay, the ionographer can go there. Awkward direction to go, Bob, but sure. Please don't take that with you. Well, we may have to go fetch that, but that's okay. So now we need to switch the directionality of these. We still have the higher gravity, so the EVA is going to be a little less fiddly. So the EVA pack goes there, and then we need Bob to fly up. There's still basically no gravity here, for the record. Still basically none. But there we go. And then at this point, we should have Bob grab a parachute and get that back. And then Bill can just hop on down. Even with the gravity hack, it'll probably take a little while for him to fall. Yep. Cool. And we're just going to have him replace these photovoltaic panels. This looks like a decent trajectory, actually. Cool. So we're going to pick up this part. And I wouldn't have done the gravity hack if we weren't having the issue of these parts refusing to deploy without it. This is just, as far as I'm concerned, a bug fix. Okay. So we're just going to turn around here and place this down like that. We're going to do the same thing with this guy, making our way on over so that we're in about the right position to drop it. Okay, and let's drop this out over here, actually. A little bit more spaced out. Cool. And then we'll grab this one as well, pick that up. Experiments connected 3. There's no comm signal out here. We probably do need to put some sort of a communications relay satellite out here. I'm not sure what the actual range is. Does the Communitron have a longer range if it's put out by an engineer? I don't think so, but let's double check that. Let's go ahead and repackage this one and put it back out again. It doesn't take very long, and that way we know for sure. Okay. Cool. So power available, 9. Total power needed is apparently 5. So that is good. And our science is underway there. Our connection state is apparently connected. Oh yeah, we do have our comm signal. Okay, beautiful. So we don't actually need a ComSat here. We have some measure of a signal. So we're going to come back over this direction. We should probably remember to unhack the gravity. I'm just going to hit reset here and then unhack it. There we go. Cool. And I'll quick save again just in case there's some weirdness from the bug fix that we put in there. We'll put this in here. And now Bob can hop back in. There we go. Took a little bit to break that sticky... Oh. Bob, please no Kraken. Please no Kraken. Thank you, Bob. Okay. Board. Cool. And now we'll have Bill board as well. We haven't planted a flag. Do we want to try having Valentina plant the flag? I kind of do want to try having Valentina plant the flag, actually. So in we go. Maybe. Hard maybe there. We bored. So, we're going to get Valentina out. If we start tumbling in a weird way, we're going to have to get her back in. Okay. So, unfortunately, Valentina cannot be the one to plant this flag. We're going to have, I think, Bill go do it. I would like to have Valentina do it for XP purposes, but we're just going to have Bill plant the flag. Cool. So Bill will land right on over here, plant the flag, and this will be fine. Valentina is inferior, it seems. Bill has a fundamental misunderstanding of this. There's no text on the flag, but that's fine. So, Bill has a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on in this situation. That's fine. He can do that. So, Valentina's very upset with Bill, obviously. But we're just going to head off over this way, and we're going to pretty much be done here on Gilly. So, it is time now to return. That was an awkward climb. Please recover, Bill. Thank you. And let's hop in. Beautiful. We can retract our ladder. Not that it does anything. But I say let's get out of here, and we will think about our return trajectory now. That's everything deployed, all of our science that we can get, and it looks good. So, we're out of here. Very, very gently. And we're just going to head over this direction. We can, at this point, retract our landing legs. And we're just going to go pure horizontal. There's so little gravity here on Gilly. It's insane. Okay. Beautiful. So we're watching our apoapsis height. Once we reach around, I don't know, 10 kilometers, we'll probably consider that good enough. I'm assuming that we have enough vertical speed here to clear any lumps on this rock. That does indeed appear to be the case, so that's good. Once we reach the apoapsis here, we are going to... And when are we going to get there? 25 minutes? Okay. We're going to look to circularize here, and then we'll think about our actual return trajectory. Now, we know that we have all of our science in space high over Gilly, and we're not going to get more data here, but we should have Bob EVA here and actually extend this ladder. No. We should not, actually. I just realized that we shouldn't. So, Bob, you can head back in here. There we go. And the reason why we shouldn't is because we have data from the surface here. I was thinking we can grab that on the way up again. No, we actually can't. We have nowhere to store it. The data that we currently have from the surface. So that'll be okay. We've got enough data, I'm sure. We'll go ahead and warp to this position, but we can't warp via physics warp. Or we can't warp via time warp when we're this low. So we have to do a physics warp. That'll be fine. We're on our way back home. We've got about 3,300 meters per second left in this thing. Should be more than enough. So let's go ahead and angle for this burn. But we don't have much altitude here, that's for sure. So we're going to warp as much as we can. Let's drop the physics warp quick and double check this. While below 8,000 and periapsis below 8,400. Okay. I mean, this would be wildly early for this burn, but we could give it a go. And see about getting our periapsis up. This is a very, very wacky burn. And it does bring our apoapsis up a little bit more than I had hoped, but this seems reasonably fine. Okay, 0.4 meters per second off. At this point, we kind of want to burn, I think, radial in. No, radial out, maybe? Thinking here. We don't really care too much about this actual maneuver. Nope, it is radial in. Okay, so let's physics warp over to that. There we go. And let's push this periapsis up a bit. Unfortunately, that's all the up it gets. So here we are. We're now at about 6,600 meters here. Time to periapsis is about 20 seconds. I was just hoping we'd be able to warp a bit. Sadly, yeah, we definitely can't yet. The periapsis is a long ways away, so is the apoapsis, so we should physics warp here as best we can. Cool. It is getting close to time to putting a cut in here. We're not, I mean, we are in a safe orbit here. We could do that, in theory, and head around over this way. I mean, that is a possibility. I kind of just want to go radial out here and just burn away from the surface a little bit. Kind of like this. Just get us more apoapsis here. And then from here, we could add a maneuver. Circularize that. That's a very minute burn. And then from there, we can think about our return trajectory, probably slingshotting around Eve, but I'm not sure if we want to go prograde or retrograde. We'd need to experiment with that. So that'll be fine. We can position for this burn, and we're not in 4x time acceleration. There we go. We're positioned for the burn now, and our periapsis is quite low, but our apoapsis is getting better. We can now time warp. So that's perfect. Absolutely great. Our time warp will accelerate a little bit more soon enough, but this is x50 time. We are not moving very quickly. That's for sure. X100 time. Beautiful. I'd like this to be going a little faster. Unfortunately, it just isn't. I'm watching this node drift away here, and we're just going to reposition for that, and we may as well get some roll in here as well. Kind of like this. Just to be more edge-aligned for the sun, for our solar panels. Cool. So we're chilling at X100, and I think that's just because of our periapsis height, to be honest. So from here, we could probably do a radial burn to fix that, but I think it's okay. We're at 1000x time warp now, and now it's basically time for this burn. So let's just physics warp our way over, and let's just burn it. I don't really care too much about this timing. We just want to get our periapsis up and circularized. Cool. So something kind of like that. Beautiful. And with that, it is time to put that cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to return to Kerbin. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Ken2Win, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisoul, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.